Most players come to Lightning Dice thinking they can win Lightning Dice. But here's the truth that most players never realize. Lightning Dice will eat your bankroll alive before you ever see those multipliers you came for. In today's video, we share some critical strategies. Taming variance doesn't mean controlling the dice you can't. It means controlling yourself. It means managing how you bet, how you size your stakes, how you spread your numbers, and most importantly, how you survive the long droughts between those flashy lightning strikes. Most people fail here because they come in with no plan. They slam big bets on the lightning numbers, praying for 500x, and when it doesn't come in 10 rolls, their session is already dead. They blame bad luck, but it's not bad luck, it's variance, doing what variance always does. The players who win are the ones who understand that variance is part of the game, not a glitch. And once you understand it, you can build a strategy that keeps you alive long enough to catch the big hits without going broke in the process. Think of Lightning Dice like a storm. You don't stand in the middle of it and hope not to get struck. You build shelter, you wait it out, and you take advantage when the moment comes. That's what smart players do. They play in a way where even the long dry streaks don't knock them out of the game. They accept that small wins and small losses are part of the survival plan, and they aim for bankroll preservation above everything else. Because the reality is simple. If you bust before the lightning hits, you'll never see the payouts you came for. Now let's get practical. Lightning Dice runs on 3 dice dropping through a tower, with totals ranging from 3 to 18. The payouts are based on the probability of those totals showing up. Common numbers like 10 and 11 pay very little because they come often. Rare numbers like 3 and 18 pay huge because they rarely land. And then you've got lightning random multipliers applied to certain numbers each round. This is where players lose their discipline. They see 500x or 1000x flashing, and they slam their balance on it. The odds of hitting it are microscopic, but variance tricks them into believing it's just around the corner. That's the trap. Taming variance means resisting that urge and betting smart, not flashy. One way to tame variance is spread betting. Instead of going all in on a single rare number, you cover a range that balances probability and payout. For example, you might cover 8 through 13, the middle zone where most totals land. The payouts aren't huge, but you'll keep hitting often enough to stay alive. At the same time, you sprinkle a tiny fraction of your stake on the extreme numbers 3, 18, 4, 17, so that when lightning boosts 1, you're there to catch it without risking your whole bankroll. This approach doesn't eliminate variance, but it softens it. You're not relying on one miracle hit, you're balancing steady returns with occasional spikes. Another approach is unit sizing. Too many players bet too big too soon. They think 10 a spin feels small, but in Lightning Dice, variance can stretch 20 or 30 dead spins in a row. That's 300 gone before you even blink. Smart players break their bankroll into tiny units, 1% or 2% per spin max. With 200, you're betting 2 to 4. It feels slow, but that's the point. It keeps you alive through the variance, so that when the lightning finally lands on one of your covered numbers, you're still sitting at the table to profit. Survival first, thrills second. That's the discipline most people don't have. And let's not ignore the psychology. Variance messes with your head. 10 dead spins and you start believing a big hit is due. That's the gambler's fallacy talking. The dice don't owe you anything. Each drop is independent. Taming variance isn't just math, it's mental. You have to accept the droughts without tilting, without chasing, without abandoning your plan. If your spread and unit sizing are set, you stick to them. You don't suddenly triple your bet on 3 just because it hasn't hit in 50 rounds. That's how players blow up. Discipline is what keeps you from turning variance into self-destruction. Now, here's a deeper trick that experienced players use. Session goals. Lightning Dice variance makes long-term grinding dangerous. You can win for 30 minutes and lose it all in 5 bad spins if you don't have an exit plan. That's why pros set profit targets and stop-loss limits before they start. Example, with 200, maybe you decide that if you hit 260, you'll cash out half and keep playing with the rest. Or if you drop to 150, you'll stop completely and come back another day. This way, variance never has the chance to take you from profit back to zero. You cut your sessions into controlled windows instead of letting variance dictate the whole story. Let's paint a scenario. 2 players sit down with 200 each. The first player bets 20 per spin, chasing 3 and 18 only. 10 spins go by, nothing. He's down 200 in minutes, wiped out. The second player spreads 2 units across the mid-range and sprinkles 1 each on 3 and 18. He lasts for 40 spins, hitting small wins consistently. On the 25th spin, Lightning boosts 18 to 250x. He has 1 on it. The dice fall. 18 shows. He cashes 250 in a single spin, on top of still having most of his bankroll intact. The difference wasn't luck, it was survival. The reckless player never even got to see the multiplier. The disciplined player tamed variance long enough to collect. That's how you win. Taming variance also means knowing when not to play. Some sessions are just ice cold. Lightning isn't hitting your covered numbers, payouts are flat, and momentum is gone. That's when discipline means walking away. Too many players keep grinding, waiting for variance to turn, but variance doesn't turn because you want it to. It turns when it turns, and sometimes that's after your bankroll is already gone. Walking away is part of taming variance. You don't need to win every session, you just need to last long enough across sessions to let probability and discipline do the work. The biggest mistake people make is treating lightning dice like a slot machine. It's not. It's math layered with variance. If you don't respect the math, variance will crush you. If you do respect it, if you size your bets, spread your coverage, control your sessions, you can actually flip variance into an advantage. Because while everyone else is busting fast chasing lightning dreams, you're still there, surviving, stacking, and catching the big strikes when they finally drop. And variance doesn't just exist in the numbers, it exists in your emotions. You'll feel the swings, you'll feel the tension when your number gets the lightning boost, you'll feel the pain when it misses by 1. That's variance in its rawest form messing with your nerves. If you don't tame your emotions, you'll never tame variance, because variance will always push you to chase, to tilt, to break your own rules. The players who tame variance don't just manage bets, they manage themselves. Here's another layer that casual players overlook: timing. No, I don't mean timing the dice drops you can't, I mean timing your sessions. Lightning dice runs 24/7, but the rhythm of the game can feel different at different moments. Sometimes lightning feels hot, hitting boosted numbers within a cluster of spins. Other times, it feels dead. While probability doesn't change, your bankroll exposure does. If you feel you've entered a dead patch, where nothing is paying, that's the signal to scale down your units, preserve balance, and wait it out. If you catch a session where lightning seems to cluster, that's when you can cautiously lean a little harder on your spread. Again, you're not controlling variance, you're responding to it, taming it by adjusting exposure, not by chasing miracles. And bankroll cycles matter too. Say you've had 3 losing sessions in a row. Most players chase hard in the 4th, convinced they're due for a win. But smart players tame variance by stepping back, lowering their stake size, and riding out the downturn instead of accelerating into it. Because variance doesn't owe you balance, it demands patience. By slowing down during downturns, you ensure that when the upswing finally comes, you're still alive to catch it. That's taming variance across the long game. Think about it like this: lightning dice is a high variance beast. It's not designed for steady grinding profit, it's designed for spikes, bursts, dramatic moments when the lightning hits just right. If you don't structure your play around surviving those bursts, you're playing blind, and blind players bust. Tamed variance means you don't just hope for those bursts, you plan for them. You stretch your bankroll, you manage your risk, and you make sure you're positioned when the strike comes. That's how pros think. That's how survivors play. At the end of the day, variance in lightning dice is like fire. You can't grab it, you can't control it, you can't tell it where to go. But you can respect it, manage it, and build a strategy around not getting burned. Every player will feel its heat, the difference is whether you let it consume you or whether you learn to work around it. Most players ignore variance and lose. A few players tame variance and win. The choice is yours. And if you want more breakdowns like this, more survival strategies, more ways to outlast the swings and actually play smart in live games, then hit that subscribe button right now. Because the truth is, the casino thrives on variance. It wants you reckless, it wants you tilted, it wants you blind. But you don't have to play that way. Stick around, stay locked in, and I'll keep giving you the real edge, the mindset, and the strategies to tame games like Lightning Dice, Crazy Coin Flip, Sweet Bonanza Candyland, and beyond. Don't let variance own you. Subscribe, stay smart, and take control of your game.